Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about TerraZyme. Now, this is one of my favorite products, and I feel like we need to make sure everyone understands it and uses it all the time. Okay, so this information is found in my book, Using Gifts of the Earth with Faith, and it's updated now. You can go and buy, it on Amazon or Lulu or Kindle. So yeah, all the information is there. All right, this TerraZyme is in a capsule, right? And it is at 10 uh, digestive enzymes in here. Okay, so enzymes
There's a new one.
That's it. That's pretty, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I love the new look. The digestive enzymes are very important for us. So here is the list of the digestive enzymes that are in here. The reason why is because the modern diet, with all the processing and the longer shelf life, we are deficient in all of that enzyme. They've taken the enzymes out so that the food lasts longer on the shelf, and therefore our body has a harder time breaking down the food. And what that means is a lot of people get sick and they have a lot of gut issues. How many people do you know with IBS, with Crohn's, with colitis, with all of these gut issues? And if you don't have a diagnosis, sometimes it's just like bloating and just even weight issues. Okay, so yeah, we need to reintroduce the enzymes into our body. And also, as we age, our body doesn't produce as much enzymes. So we need all the help we can get. I've had people take up to 8 a day with, 2 with every meal. It's just food enzymes, so it's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. I had lots of friends who even started losing weight because their body is breaking down the food more and they're absorbing nutrients better. And so their body is less hungry and more satisfied. And so, they eat less and, their body starts to lose the weight. So it's a good thing for everybody. Okay, so there's enzymes to help break down proteins and starches and sugars and fats and oils. A lot of the fats and oils can be like over processed. So I tell my kids that it's kind of like liquid plastic, they're so hard to break down without extra help. And that's why we want to do lemon oil and we want to do enzymes like TerraZyme as much as we can to help break those things down. Otherwise, our body's going to keep storing layers and layers of it. It helps, there's enzymes that break down lactose in milk. So many people are lactose intolerant, right? And there's the fruit fibers as well, starches, fructose, glucose, the sugars, different types of sugars. So it's just pretty amazing that they put 10 different types of enzymes in here. I have never come across anything that has this many enzymes. I met a lady who had very bad gut issues. She did not eat a lot of food, so her diet was so restricted. She was so skinny, and her tummy always hurt. And I introduced it to her, and she was like day and night. She was able to eat some of her favorite foods again, without hurting. So yeah, it's a very important supplement to take all the time. Okay, so take it with each meal. So do 1 or 2 depending on what you eat. So if you're eating more meats and cheeses and fatty food, so take 2. I had a lady take 3 or 4 at each meal. That's a lot. Like wow, but she says it's fantastic. So yeah. If you are eating healthy, like a super salad or something, and you're drinking a smoothie, you may not need as much, but I would do at least 1. Okay. Any questions or stories that you want to share? All right. So let's list out the physical benefits. Okay. So here's that new packaging that Jen just showed us earlier. Yep. It helps break down the food we eat. Okay. And it helps support the physiological processes in the body and other biochemical processes. Helps drive biological processes necessary for building raw materials. So think about your body having access to the raw material to build blood and tissues again. Okay, muscles. It helps with circulating nutrients. We really need our nutrients to be delivered to all the areas of our body, and that's what it helps us do. It helps eliminate unwanted chemicals. Okay, so sometimes we eat junk food and it has some chemicals in there, or even medications. So it helps with energy production, and absorption of oxygen, help us fight infections, and helps with wound healing. So, our body is amazing. It knows how to repair, but we just need to give it the right tools. And when, we have introduced enzymes into our body, it kind of breaks down tissues that have like repaired wrong, and breaks down food, and just, has these raw materials ready to go to create tissues and blood. I had a friend, she had some a knee injury when she was younger, and she was in her 50s at the time. And she said, her knee was swollen for a while after she started using all these supplements and oils. She didn't know which one it was, but she said it could be this combination of all the oils and the supplements from doTERRA. And she said her knees the swelling went down after 3 days, and it looked like it healed, like it looks like the other knee. Before, the skin on the injured knee was like wavy. She said, so it was like bacon, but now it was healed so much that she said she went for a walk, and then she kind of went for a run, and it didn't hurt her like it used to. So she's like, wow, that's interesting after all these years. And I'm like, yeah, our body's amazing. It just needs all the tools it needs to build. Like us building houses, right? So yeah, just keep in mind, because maybe that will be your experience as well. It helps reduce inflammation, and it helps get the nutrients into the cells. Helps eliminate toxic waste. It breaks down fats in your blood. Helps regulate cholesterol and triglyceride levels, and dissolving blood clots. Regulating hormones and slowing the aging process. And it has the doTERRA tummy tamer, peppermint, ginger, and caraway seed. So I didn't know this until I kind of looked it up today as well. I'm like, and there was that extra ingredient that I missed because I kept looking at just the enzymes. So there was more than just the enzymes there. So sodium lauryl sulfate free, HPMC vegetable capsules, and it's important for nursing and pregnant women. So I've had people who are pregnant and nursing ask me, is it safe? Is it okay? And I'm like, you know what? It's actually very important for you. Okay. Imagine your body, building a baby. It needs lots of tissues, right? And lots of raw material, and with nursing as well. Okay. So I know my sister, after she had her first child, she couldn't use the bathroom. She's doing digestion, and it still didn't work. And I said, have you tried TerraZyme? Have you been using it? She's like, oh, I just keep forgetting. I said, well, start using it again. And she texted me back. She's like, oh my gosh, that was, a lifesaver. Because when you're swollen and you're still healing, everything is still hurting. And, when you can go to the bathroom again, that was excellent. Okay. So guys, when you're eating, you trigger digestion. Okay. About half an hour after you eat, we should be able to go to the bathroom. Okay. We should have a bowel movement 3 times a day, just to help things move along. So, use TerraZyme to help you with that. Okay. And with the other products too. Any questions or comments so far? Okay, so I'm gonna stop the share right now, and I'm gonna show you, do a demo now. Yeah, Okay, so I've got the TerraZyme here. I've got, this is oatmeal or porridge. You can see that's very hard, okay? And I'm just gonna just break a, so you can look, I don't know if you can see. There, okay. So break a TerraZyme into this oatmeal. Okay. And we're going to just start mixing it up. All right, so hold it up again. So there it is. You see how hard it is? It's very thick, okay, oatmeal. So I'm just going to keep stirring. So it takes about a minute, okay, but it's going to start breaking down and softening. So imagine doing that in your body. So all the foods and the starches and the fibers, it's going to help it break down, all right? So take it on an empty stomach as well, okay, so that your body is able to use it to break up tissues and repair tissues, okay, rebuild. All right, so whenever we have some injury and stuff, this is something that we need to have a lot of. Okay, so far you can see that it's softening up already, okay, and that was just one capsule. Okay, so I'm going to keep stirring here as we talk, and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute, okay? So
I've seen you do that before, Jade. I've seen a video of you doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, so just a good demonstration to see what it does with the inside of our body so that there's no strain when you go to the toilet. Okay. All right. So this is the oil of simplification. Not oil, sorry, the product of simplification. Okay, so it's just the energy. We're talking about emotional and spiritual healing and energetic healing. Okay, so it helps us feel get unstuck and untangled, and it helps us overcome life's big obstacles by breaking things down to smaller manageable steps. We sometimes overcomplicate our life, scatter our attention, and overwhelm ourselves with all the things that we think needs to be done immediately. Isn't that true? Okay, we get so stressed so unnecessarily sometimes, right? Look at that, it's softening up. I'm gonna just leave it here and let it do its thing. Okay. All right, so let's see. With consistent, simple efforts, we'll be able to achieve great things. Be patient and go slow to go fast. Develop sustainable, healthy daily habits, and soon you experience the momentum from those accumulated actions, which inevitably lead to great success. Yeah. So how do you guys feel about breaking things down to simpler steps? Staying focused, simplifying your life. It's possible. It can be possible. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Debbie, go ahead.
Jade, I was just gonna say, I think it's the overwhelm stops us from sorting things out. And so I think that's kind of like the energy of it. It's like, let's sort it out and simplify it.
Yeah. So like organizing our thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, It's like a placement.
And then it's easier to digest or to understand and process.
Yeah, that's right.
Physically and emotionally. So spiritually, yeah.
So I feel like when we simplify our life, everything looks a lot simpler. So including our home, including our schedule, and our mind, is less stressed with so many things, that we're thinking about, that we're worrying about. Yeah. So whenever we stress and we feel overwhelmed, we don't breathe well, and then we don't allow the energy in our body to flow properly. So the energy in our gut you know, slows down, and then we have like this buildup of fungus and, you know, food it doesn't digest properly. So yeah, when we relax a lot more, you know, the body digests and relaxes. Yeah. So enzymes play a very important role in the digestion process. Our body has digestive enzymes and metabolic enzymes. As we age, our body doesn't produce nearly as many enzymes as we need. So we add to our body's enzyme levels from food that we eat. However, many foods that we buy today do not have sufficient levels of enzymes. So this is mainly because these foods are unnatural or highly processed. The result is that the environment of our modern life leads to enzyme deficiencies. The easiest and simplest solution to address our dwindling supply of enzymes is to take enzymes in a supplement. This is what the TerraZyme Digestive Enzyme Complex is. So TerraZyme includes a variety of whole foods enzymes that help with digestion of proteins, fats, complex carbohydrates, sugars, and fibers. Yeah, we mentioned that before, and as I mentioned too, it's fantastic for pregnant and nursing women because our body often slows down digestion when we travel, or the TerraZyme is especially important while we're traveling. Okay, so it's fantastic for weight management too. Okay. All right, so here's the negative energy. Feeling stopped, like something's blocking you, feeling stuck, stagnant, impatient, procrastinate. You know, sometimes when we have a lot to do, we sometimes don't do any of it at all. We feel overwhelmed, trying to resolve big problems in one go, hoarding old thoughts and beliefs. So this is here helping us, you know, simplify our life by letting go of the old stuff, and then a tendency to overcomplicate. That's the human tendency, isn't it? Just sometimes the solutions are a lot simpler than we realize. Yeah. And so here you see it's nice and soft now. You see that? Okay. All right, so negative thoughts and beliefs. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I have to push through and work hard all through my own efforts. So you're on your own. Everything's so complicated and difficult. I don't know why I can't, XYZ, okay? Or I feel stuck and stagnant. I just don't feel like doing anything, right? So sometimes we just need to pause and listen to what we're saying, because that's what we're creating, okay? If we're feeling stuck, perhaps we need to make a turn, or, you know, see things differently. You know, maybe the Lord is changing directions for you, okay? So you don't have to just be settling for that energy of stuff. Okay, so positive energy, building up from simple fundamental pieces, you know, breaking things down. You want to build things just by little important pieces first. Okay, connection, yeah, because we're making connections. Breaking things down to simple parts. Assistance, like allowing ourselves to have assistance. Data, you know, start something, a simulation of small things, taking on just one small thing at a time, and breaks down and releases the old. It's like understanding what the old thinking is, and then releasing it, letting it go. Simplify, we've mentioned that already, and allow the universe to take care of the details. Sometimes if we're holding our breath and we're just worried about too many details, okay, that you know, is a form of anxiety. Okay. Anybody want to say anything? Comment? All right. Okay, so the positive enlightened thoughts and beliefs to adopt is I can work smart and effectively. My life is simple and easy to manage. Okay, I let go of the past losses and failures. That's hard to do sometimes, isn't it? So we bring it back to say, hey, I messed up, or I didn't do it right last time. Might not be able to do it right again, or you can change your thinking and saying, well, the past is in the past, right? Yeah, let me just give it another go. I easily identify false beliefs and thoughts and remove them to clear the way for progression. Okay, so it is easy for me. It's easy for me to digest information and apply it to my current situation. Can you see the screen, guys? Yeah. The path is clear for me to move forward with ease. Okay, I see the simple truth of all things, and I allow the universe to help me take care of of the details of my life. Yeah. Anybody want to add to this?
So I was just going to say that this is a staple in my home, and I use this probably more faithfully than almost anything else. I love TerraZyme. And for me, it's about just letting go of the stuff that no longer serves me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same when I travel. It's one of the first things that's very important for me to pack. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so companion products. So if you're fixing the gut, helping with the digestive system, remember the 30-day cleanse and restore program. But if you are not doing that, you can also think about using grapefruit, wild orange, tangerine, lemon, lime, just mint oils, and citrus oils and the mint oils, so peppermint, spearmint, and now we have supermint. And supplements. I think that turmeric dual chamber capsules are very important to take if you're trying to just heal the gut, and then the MetaPower products, of course. And so I'll start there if you're going to work on gut health. Okay. All right. Anyone want to add anything? Say anything? Okay. So some questions for application. How do you feel about taking the time to go slow to go fast? As in, take time to plan and think things through and break things down to smaller steps.
This was a really important lesson for me, which I'm actually still trying to learn, but I'm much better at it now than I was when I first started learning about all this. But we need to have that time to kind of plan our lives each day. Well, actually, our lives are planned by each moment and each day. So we need to take that time to be able to ponder and think upon things and write them down, and and then eventually things will become habits, and it's much easier to go through and do all those good things each day than to be busy doing things that aren't getting you anywhere.
Yeah.
And that was my story. I was busy all the time, and would get stuff done, but not the most important things to help me to um, to progress and to grow into what I want to become.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that, Cheryl. Thank you for that. Anybody else want to share? How do you feel about taking the time to go slow to go fast?
Yeah, I think I've just been through a few months of that, and like I'm gearing up to go fast. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's when you take time to study and be quiet and commune with God and figure out like what are the next steps in your life mission, your life purpose. And it's kind of a creation period, and then like partnering with God and companionship with him and in that creation, and then the action I feel like is taking it out to the world.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. You reminded me, Debbie, of like how Jesus, who did the 40 days of, connection to the Lord and just devotional and just away from everyone in the mountains, and then before he started his mission, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like us. We need to kind of, periodically touch base again and make sure that we're focused in properly, or just review what we're doing. Like Cheryl mentioned, like we can be super busy and then feel like we get stuff done, but then really at the end of the day we're not satisfied because it's just like busy going around in circles instead of busy reaching a goal and being and knowing that you're getting closer and closer to becoming a better person or achieving something great that God wants you to achieve. Yeah. I think if you want to help children with confidence, this is important too, to help them see the big picture, where you're going, what you're doing, how this is leading to, an end goal of some sort. And so, you break it down so you can have milestones that they can celebrate. My 18-year-old daughter, she graduated from high school last week. And, one of the things that she said to me was she feels so accomplished and so grateful that, she kind of broke things down in little pieces. And each year, she kind of met the requirements and just held on. And as a family, we kind of helped support her, keep the vision. And all those things that she wanted to achieve, just for her sake, she was able to achieve. And how good is that to give a child the confidence that if I can do this, then I can achieve another thing and then another thing. So, that's very important. We have friends that are, worried about their children and what to do with their kids during the summertime. And, I made some suggestions. I'm like, what do you actually want? What's the big picture? And sometimes they say, well, I want us all to go to heaven, of course, and like, how are you going to achieve that? And how are you going to get there? What is important for that? And then break those things down into little pieces, because sometimes all of these other things are distracting and it's not that important. So that leads me to the next question. What areas of life do you need to simplify? Or have you simplified since you've learned about these things?
I think for me, the things, well, I think first of all, creating order and like getting rid of stuff that, like, I don't clean as much as I used to, which sounds funny, but I guess when I ran a daycare and preschool it was, it was more necessary, and now it's not. And I used to be quite rigid, like about how I did it and what days I did it and how often and all of that. And now it's more kind of like intuitive cleaning,
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, so it just feels more organic. But I mean, and my house is clean and it's tidy and all of that, but it just feels more organic.
Mhm.
Like first things come first. And that's important to me because of the spirit that I would like to have in my home. But I also don't feel like the cleaning Nazi anymore. So
yeah, that's awesome. I bet a lot of people can relate to that.
yeah.
I love that, Debbie.
Yeah.
You know, I've known you for how long, Debbie? 13 years, right?
Yeah.
And you know, we've like decluttered together, you know, as in our life, as in things that
Yep.
we've experienced, and we're like, let go of that, cancel that old thought and all of that. So in all the areas of our lives. And so our home becomes more minimalistic. So when it's minimalistic, things are organized so that you're cleaning along the way. You're keeping
Yeah.
things tidy along the way, so you don't have to do a big clean all the time.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and our physical body, you know, we take all these supplements, we take enzymes, and we just keep our body as clean as possible. So, you know, it's constantly clean, so we have more mental clarity. And you know, once in a while we do a 30-day detox and stuff.
Mhm.
But it's not as much work, you know, as it used to be, or
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable because you know when you're new at this, it's like, oh, what do I eat? What do I not eat? And then I feel this, you know, cramping and just feeling yucky and stuff. And you know, now it's a lot easier. We detox our actions, our behaviors, because we now have a clear purpose. You know, we know what we want to do with our life. So we, you know that all these actions lead to or is in alignment with our life's purpose. So the busyness that you're doing, you know, is like planning the next retreat or planning the next workshops that you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, because all the other things are organized and clean, and you don't need to be distracted by that. You know, like family life. You know, putting down, you know, days, time blocks, days where you're hanging out with your children and your husband, and you know, dates with your husband. So it's all in there.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a lot more simplified, you know.
Yep.
Instead of going,
It feels a lot more intentional.
yeah, very intentional, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of us going through months and go, oh, I totally forgot this, or oh, I haven't had a date with my husband for I don't know how long, and yeah, so we're, you know, we're on the ball more. It sounds like it's strict, sounds like, you know, it's you know, I don't know, rigid, but it's not. It's actually very liberating. We have the freedom to do these things because we chose it, and then we have the freedom to say no to everything else that's distracting. So yeah. So I think keep the end in mind, guys. Say that you want to have stronger relationships. You make time. You make time for these relationships. You have time block. So that's what makes your life simplified, and it doesn't have to be complicated for you to feel important. You don't have to be super busy to feel important. Yeah, I think simplification allows you to have alone time, quiet time to converse with God and to continue to have that download inspiration for you to do what is important. Yeah. And as a leader, that's very important. Even if you're just a mom, you know, with, you know, not a lot of people that you have influence over, is still a leader. Yeah. Anybody else want to share or add anything? All right, so that's all for today. Yeah, it's a very short presentation. I'm just going to stop the recording here.